morning. Good morning. I'm just up at the allotment. It is currently Tuesday morning. So funnily enough, unless you're on Patreon, this vlog from last week actually hasn't come out yet, but I've already started filming this one because it is my last morning on the allotment for the week. I'm up here just sorting the girls out. I need to make sure that their house is in order and that they've got plenty food, plenty water, all that kind of thing. I'm also giving them a last little run around outside because although they're going to be looked after for the whole week or the whole 5 days, whatever it is, so we're not just like leaving them on their own. They're going to be looked after by somebody on a plot over there. I don't know whether they're going to want to really just let them out because it takes quite a lot of trust to know that you're going to be able to get them back in to let them out. So they've got a big space in their cage and we can put grass and all that kind of stuff in the cage, so that's not a big problem, and it is only 5 days. But I thought I'd give them a bit of a run around this morning. Seems the sun's out and there's lots of fresh grass, isn't there, girls? Yeah, I've scattered a load of corn in and around like the grass in this area, so they are currently engaged in ripping the grass to shreds and to find the corn, which is nice. I've also just been running around and picking stuff that won't wait. I just picked a load of those. I picked loads and loads of them yesterday, but they've really... These runner beans, you don't want them, girlies. Just because when you leave them on, it stops it producing. So I've picked even really quite small ones, just kind of strip them. And then hopefully when I get back at the end of the week, we'll have a whole new lot, which will be tick. I've also picked a load of tomatoes. Right, what else have I got to do this morning before I leave? Water the greenhouse, water the polytunnel, and then I'm off. Look at this, a bit of a parting gift I've just noticed. The blooming black fly are back. We've escaped it all year this year. You know, I had such problems last year. Well, it's just been such a weird year, we've had none. But now they're on my beautiful dwarf French beans, which is pretty annoying, hey girlies? Pretty annoying. Oh, I thought I'd escaped, but there's loads of flowers, so hopefully we'll have some beans when I get back. Just watering in here like I said I was going to, and I'm really pleased with the size of some of these peppers on such tiny plants. I reckon by the time I get back they're going to be pickable. Have a look at this. They've sort of crept up on me a bit actually, because I sort of saw that they were flowering and they were starting to produce, but this has grown so quickly and I'd kind of given up on them. So yeah, incredibly pleasant surprise. And there's this little odd black ball on the top of that one. Don't know what that is. Even these ones are going, which are supposed to be the Frigatello really long ones. They're not, but there's a pepper on there, which is more than I'd realised. Unfortunately, loads of them are just starting to come into flower now. You can see that one's budding up and these ones are flowering, and it's obviously just going to be too late for them. But still, nice effort, chaps. And we have been getting a small but constant flow of tomatoes, so I really can't complain. Hey girls, can't complain. No, no. But yours looks beautiful. What are you doing? You having a nice time? Are you having a nice time, girlies? Look at this. Your neck looks terrible, Rube. Yours looks beautiful, Mills. It's all come back gorge, little girlie. Gorge, my little girl. It has, yeah, gorge. Okay, watering done. But I was just in, I'm in the greenhouse just looking at the seedlings, and looks like, I mean, it's a bit early. I might be jumping the gun here a bit, but hold on. I don't feel like that's wonderful germination on the spinach yet. I mean, I hope I'm just being a bit mean, and by the time I get back that's going to be full. Everything else looks good. Fennel needs to go out, but they're looking fine. And the basil's coming along. That's going to have to be grown indoors, probably in the kitchen, because it's a bit late for it now. This is the chard that's going to go into the polytunnel. Bit of Mizuna there, which is looking a bit sad, to be honest. And these are the rest of the cabbages. So I planted all those ones out in the Cavallonero box, but got loads of leftovers. Okay, I think that's me done then. You all done? Yeah, I'm done. I'm going to head home, grab my suitcase, and we're off. Hey girls? Yeah, I better put them away first though, huh? Oh, they're good girls. I will see you at the end of the week, girly whirlies. I will. Caroline's going to be looking after you. She is. Lucky girls, you get lots of treats. You will, loads of treats, I know it. Bye whirlies. Bye whirly whirly whirlies. Bye. Hello. Get my goodies. Meow. Let's go. Can't believe how long this grass has got. It's been so wet we haven't been able to strim it. So it's probably going to be like a foot deep by the time I get back, but hey ho, hey ho. Good afternoon, we are off on our travels. We've got a bit of a pit stop beforehand though, because I have got to be at St Pancras International train station tomorrow morning at like 5:30, and the trains aren't running from Richmond at that time of the morning, so we have come to stay with Sarah for the evening so we can get to the station at the right time tomorrow. Fantastico. Okay, welcome back to Camden. This blooming suitcase, it's meant to be one of those ones with the 4 wheels so you can just push it along in any direction, but actually it just goes all over the place like a trolley with a broken wheel. But then again, I suppose I did only pay about £5 for it in Hong Kong, so I can't complain too much. Anyway, we are looking for Sarah. I'm just going to put my bat binoculars on, and there she is. Good morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, or like 5:15, and I probably would have felt a lot better if I'd gone to bed a bit earlier, but I didn't. So, we live without decisions. We live without decisions. Let's get to the station. Staggering around the back streets of King's Cross in the dark, always good. Anyway, Sarah lives just round the back of Euston Station, so it's really convenient to get here, which is the magnificent St Pancras Station. Ah, is that not beautiful? Right, we are looking for the Eurostar. We have found the Eurostar. They don't tend to take too kindly to people filming when they're checking passports, so I'm going to leave you here.
We are happy to help you with your journey, so please to us as we walk you through the train. Awa and Vincent are looking forward to welcoming you to Café Métropole in coaches 8 and 9.
was pretty smooth. I've made it to Epernay. Mum's been down here for about 3 or 4 days, and unsurprisingly, I found her outside a wine shop. And she's been down here for a couple of days with these people. This is Jill and Richard from Australia. Old friends of Mum's. And we are in Epernay, which is in the Champagne region, which is rather marvellous. So I suspect we're going to be doing rather a lot of this. This one is particularly lovely, actually, and it is made from 100% Pinot Noir, which is quite unusual. And a tick, basically, tick. Good morning. It is an absolutely spectacular morning in Epernay. Perfect blue skies. It's gorgeous. So we're having a bit of a wander round, and what we're looking for is like doing proper tourist stuff. But there is a street here called the Avenue de Champagne, and I said yesterday that this is the Champagne region, and this particular street stretches for sort of more than a kilometre, I think, and it is where all like the head offices and the main cellars are for the big champagne producers in the area. So that is what we're looking for, but we're a bit lost, so we're going to go and try and find the tourist office and go from there. Okay, we've got ourselves a map of the area. God, it's so bright. Got ourselves a map of the area. We're going to go and find some coffee. Very excited. Jill's very excited. And we're going to discuss what's next on the plan.
Map. But in this photo,
I have to, you can say sit up straight, or move your chair around here so I'm not looking like I'm.
Oh, well, it turns out that that big balloon that we keep seeing hanging above the town is actually the Epernay Avenue de Champagne viewing balloon. So you can go up in that and look across all of these places like the Moet Chandon headquarters. So this whole street started off late 17th century-ish sort of time, where they started making the big champagne cellars like this bloke, Mr. Dom Perignon. Mr. Famous Champagne himself. But as time went on, they started building headquarters like on top of the cellars, and then it became a mixture of headquarters for the businesses, the big cellars where they were storing the champagne, and then also sometimes private residences for the big champagne producers themselves. So it's a pretty impressive street all round, and actually bordering on hilarious. It's so grandiose. So we've gone past Moet Chandon, and now we are at Perrier-Jouet, which is quite exciting because that was their warehouse, but this is their tasting garden, which I'm quite excited about having a look at. It's absolutely beautiful, and I am almost 100% convinced that we will be back here shortly to do a tasting. The garden is so sweet, and this is my favourite champagne, so yeah, we will be back here shortly when we've gone and had a nose around at everything else, because currently it's only 10 o'clock in the morning and that wouldn't be a good idea. Wouldn't that be a messy day? Well, we've had a really good look around and it is quite the most bizarre place. It did actually used to be known as the crazy suburb, and I can quite seriously see why. And the whole street is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was definitely worth having a look around, but I've managed to convince these chaps that we are heading back to the Perrier-Jouet garden and going to have some champagne, because that's really what we're here for. Or it's what I'm here for. Anyway, don't know about them. And I'm very happy to see Japanese anemones in this garden, because that is the symbol of the champagne house. It all started with a love affair between Nicholas and Adele, who are the Perrier and Jouet of the title. And the Japanese anemone was her favourite flower, and it has been their symbol ever since. And I think that's really, really sweet. Morning! We are looking at grapevines and it's Mum's birthday. So we have come to a little village that is completely surrounded by grapevines called Haute-Villers, and it is where Dom Perignon was based. The same guy that the Moet Chandon Prestige Cuvée is named after. He was stationed here. Do you get stationed as a monk? I'm not sure. Anyway, he was a Benedictine monk, and that, up that alleyway there, was the abbey that he was at. Quite fancied having a nose in there, but they've got a funeral, so obviously not going to just go stroll in. But yeah, we might pop back there later, or we might have gone by the time the funeral is over. So we're still looking for vineyards. When we were driving up here, there were just masses of them, all like running into the village. But now we're actually in the village, we can't find the edge. So yeah, still looking. This is another part of the UNESCO World Heritage kind of bracket that's over this area. These are the original caves where they stored and made the champagne. But over here, I'm not very comfortable about this. This is like a hybrid Dom Perignon the monk plus Bacchus plus wine bottle combo that makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. That's actually a bit creepy. The reason that Dom Perignon's got this such huge association with the champagne is he's kind of erroneously credited with having invented champagne, which he didn't, but he did contribute a lot. I'm not discrediting him entirely. Up until that point, they were mainly only making red wine in this area. I can see vines. There are grapevines up ahead. God, I keep treading on these tiny little pears. Aren't they cute? They're all like falling off the trees from above, but they're really rock hard, and when you tread on them you just go skating all over the show. These grapevines have turned out to be fairly unimpressive and up a massive wall, so that's not really what we're looking for. I think that's somebody's back garden. It's all very well climbing up. Ooh. Got slippy shoes on and going downhill, not so easy. And got to go past the creepy man with the champagne bottle bum. That's actually deeply sinister. I fear that's going to crop up in my dreams in the future. Ooh. Don't tread on the pears, that's really wibbly wobbly.
I tried to go onto one. It's just that I don't know. I am online.
We found a little market right in the middle of the village, and there is this fruit and veg stall, and this is what I'm so excited about. Look at these ceps. Aren't they beautiful? Really gorgeous mushrooms. And actually there's gorgeous things. These little brown apples are really sweet as well. I don't know what they are, like a russet type. And look at those girolles. Don't they look beautiful? I absolutely love mushrooms, by the way. They are stunning. Actually, everything on this whole stand looks just amazing. But these, oh, they are looking beautiful. I just don't think they'll travel well in my suitcase. Likewise with these. How cute are these? Little Mirabelle plums. They are so sweet. You just never find them at home. Also, won't pack up in my suitcase though. That'll be a really nice mess by the time I get home. Chestnuts. It's coming into that time, isn't it? We should be getting them at home soon. Should be exciting. There's some pretty magical tomatoes around here as well, so I'm just getting envy. Look, there's a Consuelo there. Looks like Green Tiger. All those Roma ones in there. Ah, next year, Jessie, next year you'll have the tomatoes. But this is making me really hungry, and we do actually have sandwiches, so just gonna have some lunch. Grapes on these ones. As far, literally as far as the eye can see, grapes. And there's a magnificent chateau. Can you see it? Oh, it's so bright. The sun's not actually out, but it's really bright. But that, it's pretty spectacular. Miles and miles and miles of perfect, beautiful grapevines. I think it's absolutely mesmerising. It's stunning. These have already been harvested. We've seen the tractors, you know, the long-legged tractors going up and down. But there are still a couple of bunches on there that obviously weren't ready when they did the main harvest. There's just one lurking in there. So, oh, that's a bit loud. So sweet. Really, really sweet, but really seedy, obviously, because they're not eating grapes. But really sweet. Really tasty. I mean, that's just extraordinary. And I think these ones were being grown for Moet Chandon because... But we did pass, as we were just driving up this road, we went past some grapes which were from where we went and had the champagne yesterday. So, bit snaz. Are we ready? Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers! Cheers! How can you cheers with a cup of coffee? I enjoy that. It makes me feel like I'm on holiday.
So we are back in the town square at Epernay having a quick beer, and then we're going out for dinner. Like I said earlier, it's Mum's birthday today, so we're going out for proper dinner. And then we're heading home in the morning.
There we go. Good job.
All the flavour of the mushrooms came through.
How good it was.
It was divine.
I've never seen a food like that.
Don't bump it. Yay.
That goes over there, that goes in my bag. Put my nightie on, whatever I've done with that. Wish we had a light up here.
Good morning. I've just realised we're about to leave. We're just packing up, and I realised I never even showed you where we were staying, which is in this really cute little teeny tiny flat. There's been the four of us staying in here, and I'll show you quite how cosy the bedroom situation was in a minute, but everything that you could possibly need. There's a perfectly good bathroom. In fact, the shower was brilliant, could blast you out of the shower room. Yeah, little kitchen, everything's fine, but the bedroom situation was quite interesting because Jill and Richard had the bed down here because obviously it was their flat, they actually rented it, and we are just gate crashing their party. But this is this little ladder up to our bedroom, which was up there on the little mezzanine. So Mum and I were up here, and obviously, you know, Mum's just had her hip done, so this was an interesting experience, but she didn't fall off the ladder, so all is good. But yeah, bit steep. And then yeah, this is where we've been, in a little low ceilinged den. Unfortunately, last night I left this skylight open and it rained, and now the duvet is completely soaked, hence it's hanging over the balustrade bit here. But you know, other than that, it's been perfectly successful. So yeah, we are just packing everything up and then we're off. Yeah, so sorry the tour of the little flat came on the very last day, but we had quite a few people in here and it was quite cosy, and yeah. But now we're off. We're just packing. We've cleared up the bed. The soggy, it's not that soggy. It's a bit wet. Duvet's hanging out to dry. Jill and Richard have headed off into the distance. They're on their way back to Australia today. So it's going to take them 2 days to get back. I think they're going via Singapore. Yeah, so Mum and I now are just going to have a find a cup of tea, I think, and then heading back to Epernay station, back to Paris, and then we'll lurk in Paris for a bit. So yeah, that's that. Now I've just got to get off this ladder. I feel a bit like a dressage horse. Goodbye, little flat. Bye. Ooh, it's a grey day today. We certainly got the best of the weather while we were actually here, so that's good. We can spend the day on a train in the rain. I don't think we'll be sitting down, Mum. Okay, well, we made it to Paris, but have a look at this for a bit of creep. Goes along with the man with the wine bottle bottom. Right, we've got about 2 hours to wait for the train taking us back to London. So we're going to nip in and have a spot of lunch. I'm going to go to Terminus Nord, which is the place I always go to when I'm coming back to London from Paris, because it's right outside the station where you catch the Eurostar from. And it's gorgeous. Got to cram in a last meal before we go, and what better than Mum's having steak frit, I am having a mussels and Chardonnay with chips and a beer. I mean, you just can't go wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board this Eurostar to London. Please label any larger items of luggage and place them in the racks at the end of the carriage. Small and medium items should be placed above your seat. Thank you.
And we're back. It was cold and grey when we left France, and we've arrived here and it's even colder and greyer. It's actually pretty chilly. It's like coat weather. Yeah, so let's have a look at the things that I predicted would have changed. Do we have any runner beans? Do we have any French beans? And what happened to the spinach? Hey girls? Okay, we have runner beans. Well, hey, right, I'll have to pick them today. The tromboncinos haven't got any smaller in my absence. Actually, I thought there was some on the other side. I wonder if there's any ready to go. No, I thought there was one in here somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh wait, no, there it is, and it's got massive. I'll take that with me today as well. Tell you what else has got massive is this parsley all along the bottom. It's absolutely exploded. It's whopping. The dill that I planted has been partially dug up, but the stuff at this end seems to still be in place. I mean, it's still absolutely tiny, but it's in place, which is better than not in place at all. And the tatsoi are coming along fantastically inside the cloche. They're looking really, really good. I might give them a feed this week. Okay, the French beans that have got the black fly all over them. Look, there's loads of little tiny beans on there. That's part of the reason I don't want to wash the black fly off, which is what I would normally do. But these little tiny beans are so fragile at this stage that I think if I tried to get the black fly off, I'd just strip all the beans off as well. So there's tons of flowers and tons of baby beans. So I'm just going to have to wing it with the black fly and cross my fingers, I think. But so far it doesn't seem to be distorting the tips too much, so I am optimistic. Tell you what, we must have had a right cold snap while we were away over here, because look, a couple of these have really collapsed. This is the patty pan, the Patterson Kagat. We've got one on there to pick, but the plants have really collapsed. The courgettes look all right, although there's a whopping one under there. But it's not just them. Look, the Ichikukuri have completely collapsed as well, and that definitely looks like cold. We've got quite a few good pumpkins under there though, so I'm not particularly worried about it, but they've just gone completely limp. Yeah. So we've got a couple this sort of size that's coming on nice. You can see the stem's getting quite woody on that one, so they are going to be fine. And then we've got quite a few of these little tiny ones. So yeah, not unhappy with them, but I think they're well and truly over. And I'm pleased to say there's more spinach. That's pleasing. Right, well, it being so cold, the first thing we're going to have to do is close up the window in here and put the door down on the polytunnel. Now, I really should have fixed the door on the polytunnel because it is a shambles. But I haven't, and it's going to be really cold tonight. Oh God, we got sunshine now. Oh, sunshine! It's black skies up there, like, but the sun has just peeked through. God, that's bright. Yeah, so closing up the polytunnel. Girls are fine. They are looking very chipper. Yeah, that's about it. Now I've got an absolute mammoth editing day ahead of me. It is currently early-ish Monday morning. I've been uploading all the footage this morning from France and trying to get the first edit underway. And now this afternoon, it's going to be raining all afternoon though. Oh, the sun's gone now. Yeah, it's going to be a big time editing job. Apologies to Patreons, as you will already know by the time this comes out, this isn't going to be out on a Monday afternoon because that's only a couple of hours away. So yeah, it wasn't a conventional allotment vlog this week. I had two options. Again, it was either I don't do a vlog this week, or I do and you come with me, and you know I always choose the latter option on that front. So that's what we did. Thank you for coming with me. Next week is going to be very much allotment based. This is going to be my end piece. I'm not going to do cheers. There's been a lot of cheersing in this video. So I think I'm not going to do that today. It's quite early in the morning for a cheers anyway. Take all the cheerses from this video and they will be cheers. And I'll see you next week for a much more allotment based scenario. I'll see you next week, chaps.
To pick any of it, but you can add it in while in Epernay.